Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. I'm Zmore, the dad in DPS, and welcome back to another episode of The Good, The Scrap, and The Script, a series where I review weapons I have found, made, or been given in Appalachia and see how well they do. Now, today's video is actually a request by one of our viewers, Jamie Clark, left a comment, as you can see on the screen, and we're going to be tackling the Hellstorm Missile Launcher's Fire mod. Now, this doesn't have a poison mod, I think he was just misremembering, but we're going to tackle the fire one. But because of the way that this weapon works, I'm also going to run it in tandem with a version for just DPS and see how well they stack up together. This is going to be a relatively interesting video because the Hellstorm Missile Launcher, I'm going to be honest, back when it was released was garbage and has maintained that since. So we'll see if it's better than it was before. I'm really interested, especially with the buff to fire and things like that. Either way guys, don't forget to leave a like, a comment and subscribe. So the first weapon is Not So Friendly Fire. This is Aristocrats, damage while aiming, and weapons break 50% slower. Now the reason I went for these effects is this is a full health character, so Aristocrats is the biggest percentage effect I can have there, and damage while aiming is also going to increase the damage. Now if you don't know, any of these burn ticking damagey type things are actually influenced by the percentage increases. So for example, if I had anti-armor on this weapon, it would not affect the dot, and this is something we're trying to focus on in this video, is trying to maximize the dot that is on this weapon and see how well it does. And its twin weapon in this situation is one that I managed to make by chance essentially, and I wanted to test that out as well. The Boombox. This is a 2-shot explosive, weapons break 50% slower Hellstorm Missile Launcher. Now we have the plasma payload on this one, and a point I would make, because on the PTS, explosive did not work with explosive weapons. This actually works with this weapon. I tested it when I rolled the projectiles explode for weapon damage. It actually does work. So you can actually have explosive on explosive weapons. Well, at least this one. I haven't tested it with all the other ones. There's always a possibility you can. Try it out. Play around with things. It's always my advice. Alrighty, so this is the build that we're using. However, I've got an interesting thing to show you guys, which should be a case. Now, for example, when you've got heavy gunner here, it says your non-explosive heavy guns now do 10% damage. Now, the thing about this is that we've got our weapons here, like Not So Friendly Fire. So we're 120, 125, 280 currently. Now, what were to happen if I put on my Expert Heavy Gunner? And we have a look at that again. 144, 150, 315. This is affected by these perks. So I will say that the reason I'm running the perks that I'm going to run on here is because of this. I'm going to run some of the heavy weapon perks because they will, in fact, give me damage bonuses. They will in fact give me extra damage to use on the enemies. So if you're using this weapon, make sure you're also running these perks because it will make a massive difference to your overall damage. Because yeah, it's also going to increase the damage of the dot as well, which is very interesting and will open up a bunch of different possibilities. But yeah, this is the basic build we're using. There's probably better ways to go about it, different things I could take off, you know, and add in just to make it all the more crazy and silly. But what we're using is what we're using. You know, I'm not gonna focus on it too much in this video. So first up, we are going to test the Not So Friendly Fire, the fire weapon that we've got here. And what I'm going to say about this is I went into Westech, and don't use this thing indoors if you're using Grenadier. And you're about to find out why. Like, this thing has insane range on the fire dot that has there. Now you're seeing that against level 50 super mutants, it is pretty much a foregone conclusion they are not going to survive. But you need to be super careful with this weapon. And the reason for that being is that the dot that it does, oh, missed, The dot that it does is incredibly wide and incredibly easy to hurt yourself. Now, you can see the distance we are, and I'm just going to move that much closer. Let's see if we get hit. Nope. So, get him first. We'll move a little bit closer. Yeah, we're still not in range. You're seeing the damage is maybe a little bit closer more. No, I'm still not getting hit. What's going on? I've definitely got Grenadier on. There we go. You can see the distance that you need to be in order to get hit by this thing. And you look at the dot, look at my health. Look at it going down. This thing burns through my armor like it's made of tissue paper. Now, granted, I don't have the effect on the legendary perk that gives me, is it Funky Duds or is that the other one? The Sizzling Style. I don't have Sizzling Style on. So I don't have the ability to, you know, get my health back all that easily. But when you're looking at this, the damage it does isn't bad. The damage it does to yourself certainly isn't bad. It's very good damage to yourself. So this weapon is not one you want to use in close proximity. You want to get your distance on enemies. And we're seeing this level 100 Super Mutant. And that wasn't a direct shot, that was just a glancing blow. And it actually did some decent damage. But if we go for a direct shot, you're seeing the damage isn't too bad. This is definitely a weapon that would be entertaining to try and waste all your rockets. Think all those rockets in your storage. You know, this is definitely something you can use. And against large groups of weaker enemies and super mutants, it's going to absolutely annihilate them. Like, it will kill them. But, Jesus Christ, do you not want to use this near yourself? This is literally death incarnate to your own HP bar. And it's kind of funny just to use it that way. Alright, since we're not using the fire one, we've came to Westec. And let's see, shoot him directly in the face. And you're seeing, with this version, you will blind your absolutely, like literally your eyeballs will melt off. But, you know, it's not going to kill you. 2 shots are killing enemies quite confidently. And again, the kind of, like, with these types of weapons, I always say that you're better off shooting them into groups of enemies. Like, if you're shooting it into one enemy, you're not really getting the full benefit. Oh, you're legendary. Take that to the face. You're not really getting the full benefit of it. You can just manually aim for this thing, and it is going to work quite well. But when it comes to getting ammo back, you're not really recouping ammo. I would honestly use these weapons if you are looking for something fun to do and you just want to blow a load of rockets into groups of enemies. You know, you're gonna get like the use out of it in that sense. Like, you don't even need to aim it, you just can sort of launch it in quite happily. And it's doing well. Like, this is the strange thing. Like, on the PTS 2-shot, and, well, not 2-shot, explosive, didn't seem to work on weapons that were already explosive. However, when I first made this, it had Zealots in its original first slot. So the cool thing about that being, it had Zealots, so I tested it, and I could see that it was in fact getting the secondary explosion damage from explosive. So this is basically launching getting 4 explosions out of it. You don't see all of them, but the Hellstorm missile launcher was a very underwhelming weapon to begin with. So this one is actually usable. Not the best, but certainly usable. And I think that it is a good way to get rid of my missiles that I have lying around, of which I have many on many different characters. So I think I'll be sending them over to this guy just to burn through them, because it's actually fun to use. It's not the most amazing weapon in the game, but it's not like a one launch of a rocket and then you have to stop. You're getting a couple of launches out of it, so you are getting use out of it. And the explosion damage it does isn't overwhelming on your own self. So if you're a full health build, you're going to be able to just tank your own damage quite happily. Alrighty, now with any of these videos, we come to test these things out on Jeff. So let's get a shot into him. Now the damage is actually not too bad on level 100 Jeff. We're going to wait until he gets up a little bit. The dot isn't really doing much, but to be honest, with a lot of these fire weapons, the dot doesn't really do a lot in general. And that's because, like, it's just the nature of the beast of these weapons, is that you're not really getting any benefit out of it. And this is the thing, we're getting some explosive damage, we're getting some friendly fire on ourselves. This, now that I think about it, this weapon would work incredibly well with friendly fire. Now, you're seeing we are struggling to defeat Jeff because he's getting close, and I don't want him to get close because it burns when he gets close. So this is definitely not a weapon I would recommend if you are the primary focus of the big tanky enemy that's coming at you. But, you know, it is going to kill him. And it's going to kill him relatively quickly. I tried to let the dot do more there than I probably should have. But he died, and he died relatively fast. It's just a bit of a weird one. Like, yeah, if the enemy gets close, you're in trouble. Now, obviously, we're bringing our 2-shot Hailstorm here to test on Jeff. And, you know, the funny thing is, it feels like it does less damage to him. But I'm not hindered by the fact that, you know, I've got a, what's the word? A fire-related issue. I'm just going to spam shots into him, and you're seeing, like, Jeff doesn't really cope with this one all too well. He goes down relatively quick. Again, as I've said with, definitely, I don't know if it's worth the amount of stuff you're spending on it to kill him, but it does kill him. You guys know when I come to here with heavy stuff, I tend to just go, you know what, let's launch crap into the enemies and see what happens. And with the level 60 Mirrorlurk Queen here that we've got, burning myself, what, I swear to God I just saw Mr. Handy there. Am I losing my mind? The answer is probably yes, but don't say that in the comments. Jump. So you're seeing, we've had a couple of shots into her. Let's launch a couple more. Damage isn't like the worst. This is only a level 60 version of this creature, but you know, it's not exactly the worst damage I've ever done to an enemy. Not exactly the best either. I'm kind of not like overly enthused about this weapon in terms of against big targets. Like, it just feels like I am... No, what the hell just made that explode in my face? This is the thing about this weapon. It's very dangerous. Very dangerous. Do not fire close range. If it catches on something near you, you are going to feel the hurt. Probably best to use it with Sizzling Style. And we're seeing, like, we're killing her. You know, it's not like we're not killing her. I have done more damage to me than I've done to her, technically. But it's killing her, and it'll work. I don't know if it's worth wasting all the rockets on it, but it will do what you need it to do, and she will die. Alrighty, so we have a level 100 Scorched Mirelurk Queen this time. And as you're seeing, like, the biggest advantage of the Plasma one is honestly the fact that it doesn't feel like I'm trying to compete with my own damage. Like, what's going to happen first? Am I going to kill myself quicker? And you're seeing that, like, it goes down fairly quickly when it comes to these type of weapons. Like, this thing does kill. It's just a case of, is it worth all the rockets? If I were to be crafting them, is it worth it all? But it kills them fast, it really does. And it'll kill anything in the area as well. Right, so we are in Expeditions now. Obviously, we are testing two different weapons, so I'm going to swap between them at some point during this, just to show you the kind of different things they can do. Obviously, this is still got insane range, so we're going to launch that over there and see if we can launch that over there and get some damage on these enemies. And then we're going to launch another one there. And you're seeing, like, this thing absolutely shreds our own armor, so you need to be so careful when using this. And you're going to kill the enemies. You are definitely going to kill the enemies. But I think that this thing, it's probably better off being used without the... in quite a few situations without the Grenadier. Because it's just got such insane burn damage. And that's on you mainly that the burn damage does. Like, if you're targeting enemies, it's okay. It is okay burn damage. But it's not, like, as ridiculous as some weapons. Some weapons just absolutely annihilate everything with burn damage really quickly. And this just feels like it's not quite at the level of even like the bow. I feel like the bow got more burn out of it. And then when it comes to coming in here, you're gonna get some missiles back, but you're not gonna get all your missiles back, which I feel like is a slight kind of FU to this type of weapon, because it does feel like you're not getting what you put in. Honestly, I feel like this is the type of thing that I would recommend you use to burn through like these types of weapons. And because I need to back up a lot, it feels like it takes a lot more time to use it, and I'm constantly trying to stop myself from dying, which is a downside for definite. But it does work. It does work in here and will kill things. Now we'll swap to Boombox, and we'll show you how that does. And then we'll swap back to the not so friendly fire when we come across some humans. So we'll get some damage on some overgrown to show you this one and show you the kind of thing it does. So easiest way, just bang, bang. See if we can kill some of them. They're probably regenerating. Oh, they don't seem to be regenerating. What's going on? Ah, right, there we go. So they maybe were regenerating, the game is just lagging out there. So you're saying like you can kill these guys fairly quickly. Again, you're not getting your ammo back. Let's see, are they full health? Well, the little one's full health. And you're saying you're not even killing the little one from full health. So 2 shots will at least get you them dead. So this one is got its chances of getting its ammo back, I feel. But against the kind of... Oh, it's actually 2-shot and nearly 2-shot in that one. Which is not bad. Like, there's quite a lot. These things are tanky as all hell. And if you're not accurate, you are going to miss out the wazoo. But you're seeing, like, this one actually kills them quite effectively, quite easily. We'll go back to not so friendly fire, and we will launch one of these around this corner because I don't really want to go in there and shoot. Now we'll see if we get any. You seen it? So this nearly kills the humanoid enemies. Well, the human enemies in one shot. And the burn does eventually fill them off, but I don't really want to get close to them and do that. And then we're not even getting our ammo back. And then if again I'm too close, I'm gonna kill myself. Oh, that one is actually killing her. So the potential for one-shot and things with this is quite high, with the fire damage. And what we'll do, since that's the case, we'll launch it into the 3 of them down there, and we'll see how this kind of goes. They're kind of going down. They are dying. Let's launch another one in for good measure. So yeah, it will kill the human enemies, but let's go to the boombox and see how we do with this. So you can also obviously put this in VATS, and I think the biggest problem you're going to run into with this weapon in Daily Ops and here is that you aren't guaranteed to get your ammo back. This is the kind of problem with missiles. They aren't like a guaranteed ammo drop like most weapons and their kind of ammo. You're going to struggle in that sense. But if you're shooting large groups of enemies, it is going to kill a lot of them in the one go. And there is the chance that, you know, because you're killing like 10 enemies, like for example, free missile drops there. I think the other one disappeared. I definitely saw a free. It flashed up on my... There we go. Don't know what was going on with that. But you're saying I got 5 from that and I only launched 2 into them. So there is some chances that you'll get better ammo back. I would honestly say the fire one is the funner of them to use, but this one definitely seems the most consistent and not absolutely wrecking my life. So, final thoughts. What do I think about this weapon? I don't really know. I'm gonna be honest. The Hellstorm missile launcher has been one of those weapons that I have had in my head is absolutely trash for the longest time. And I don't feel that is accurate anymore. This is definitely a weapon that is usable in a group of situations. The ammo quantities that you have to use to take down bigger targets isn't great. Like, you will have to launch a lot of stuff into bigger targets. But against small enemies, you are going to be able to absolutely annihilate them. And the fire version of this thing is absolutely stupid. It's stupid how much damage it does to you, but not in the same sense to the enemies. Granted, I'm not on a bloody build. On a bloody build, the fire one would definitely one-shot a lot of things. With the instigating effect on there, it would probably one-shot a lot of things. But I think bloodied is the better way to use with dot damage. It guarantees a more consistent thing. But with aristocrats, it's dealing some decent damage. It's killing enemies relatively easily and relatively quickly. But you either need to not use it with Grenadier, or you need to have an unholy amount of fire resistance, because you'll kill yourself if you don't. So overall, I've got mixed feelings about it. I think it's definitely something that's good to use for some fun and for some laughs. You're going to piss off a lot of people if you use it at events, mind you, because between the fire one doing like massive widespread fire damage, which in theory would heal a lot of people in the one go with friendly fire, the plasma one blinds the living crap out of people. So it is very much a case of, I would recommend you use it. I would actually recommend you use it. It's a little fun thing to use and a little fun thing to play with, and I'm not actually upset that I made these today. It's kind of funny. Either way, guys, if you enjoy these types of videos, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. If you have any weapons you'd like to see me review, definitely leave that down in the comments. As you saw, this was a viewer request video, so I will take things on board unless I've already done it and already covered those kind of topics. But with that, guys, I'll catch you all next time in the Wasteland.
It's a nuclear bomb, stabbing and swooping wild like a lark, testing weapons, bang bang sparks, radiation hum high and glowing stark, swinging in down Appalachia Trail, Mothman legends, all tales prevail, strip for the traders, scrap on sale, building forts, raiders on our tail. Oh, the good, the scrap and the screep, wandering wasteland, loose on the lip, barter and hustle ain't just a quip, survivors dance, got a weapon on the hip. Oh, the good, the scrap and the screed, wandering wasteland, loose on the lip, barter and hustle ain't just a quip, survivors dance, got a weapon on the hip. Crafting stations, tinker's delight, fixing shotguns, new rifles tight, ghouls round the corner, gotta fight, day turns to night, it'll flash so bright.